How's everyone doing today? I want to welcome everyone back to another session with Minister Brown and Nothing But the Truth Ministry. First and foremost, I want to thank the good Lord above for allowing us with another opportunity, for allowing us to have another chance to fellowship with one another. It is just a blessing by God to be able to come together, to be able to fellowship in His Word, to be able to share in His Word, but not to only share in His Word, but to have knowledge and wisdom of His Word and understanding. Without understanding, you can't apply His Word to your everyday living. So I want to thank God for allowing this opportunity, and I also want to thank y'all. I thank God for y'all, and I thank y'all for tuning in and for staying faithful and staying true to the channel, and for showing love and for stopping by and for checking me out. I thank God for the opportunity, and with each and every day that I'm blessed to see, when I'm blessed with food, y'all know I got to bless y'all with food so that we all eat. And today I just want to talk about those moments that we had in life, those moments that we have in life, those moments what we call but God moments. I want to talk about the but God moments. Just to share a little bit, when y'all finish, make sure that y'all share, subscribe, like, and comment. Drop some comments in there of what was your but God moment. After you check the video out, make sure you watch the whole video so you don't miss a thing. But make sure that you drop something in the comments that, I want to know about, or I want to hear about your but God moments. But God moments. So we're going to go through it, and I thank God for it, and y'all stay tuned, and we're going to continue to bring y'all more and more food each and every day that we're blessed to see it and that we're able to have it to be put on. So I'm going to read out of Genesis chapter 50. Genesis chapter 50, this is about Joseph, man. Joseph his brothers had turned against him when he was young, and all about a dream that he had, a vision that God showed him, and he went and shared it, and his brothers, they got jealous of it, and his father had gave him this coat that, it was like a coat of honor, and the brothers ended up plotting against him and trying to get rid of him, trying to kill him, and anyway, Joseph had a nice story, man, and whenever y'all get a chance, y'all make sure y'all check out Joseph's story and all the things that God brought him to and brought him through, and all the different things that he had to go through to get where he at. But now we at the end where his brothers, he's in a high position right now, and he's able to take care of his brothers, his people, everything. And we're at the moment now where we're at chapter 50, and it's at verse 19. It says, "But Joseph replied, 'Don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? I'm not God.'" So he's not in God's position, meaning that we don't supposed to fear nothing in life but God. We don't supposed to fear nothing in life but God. See, there go a but God moment right there. He say, "Don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? You intended to harm me. You intended harm for me, but God intended it all for good." See, what the enemy try to do, what the enemy think that they doing is harm, but what God does is for the good. See, the enemy thinking that he thinking that all that he's doing to help destroy you, when all it is to build you, to make you better and to make you fit for what God has for you. He say, "He brought me into this position so I could save the lives of many people. So no, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and all of your children." This is the position that Joseph was able to be put in. But it's a whole lot that he had to go through before he got to that position. So I advise y'all to read Joseph's story, man. It's a nice story, man. A very nice story. It's a sad story. It got sad moments, and then it got good moments in it. But y'all make sure y'all read the story of Joseph. But the reason why I wanted to make this video today is because we all have some but God moments. if it wasn't for God doing the things that he done, us thinking that we could just do the things that we want to do, and we get ourselves in a position, or we get ourselves messed up, and then all of a sudden, but God says it is not over until it says over. See, we might get bad news from the doctor. The doctor might tell us, well, we found cancer, and it spread it out through the body, but we might could try something. But it all boils down to how your body reacts to the radiation, or how your body reacts to what we give on the treatments. And then they come back later on and say, well, your body didn't do too good. You only got 30 days left to live. They love to give you a death sentence. They love to give you that. They put you in the mind frame to get your mind going, and they give you the death sentence in them 30 days. And 9 times out of 10, not with a person, they be gone in them 30 days. Because once they plant that seed in their mind go to rest, and that mind go to take over. But a person of God knows that, but God has the last say so. Man can say one thing, but God can say has something totally different in play. God is the creator, not man. Man was part of the creation when it came to you, when it came to us being part of God, allowing him to be a part of the creation, being able to create. But if it ain't in God's will, then it ain't gonna be done. I don't care what you're a part of. So we all have some but God moments, and my but God moment, man, just like with the enemy. The enemy intended everything for me for evil. He intended everything for me to be wrong. He intended everything for me to take me to death, to destroy me, to destruction. But God already had a plan for me. God already had a say-so. God already had a purpose for me. God already had a will for me. God already had something in motion. God was the one, the beginner. He was the one that already predestined and chose me before the foundations of the earth was even created. So God already knew what he was going to do with me no matter what. No matter how the enemy was going to do, or what the enemy was allowed to do. Because see, what we fail to realize, the enemy has a job. And he only allowed to do but so much. And he has to get permission to be able to do the things that he want to do in order to get us where we need to be for God. So when it comes to the devil made me do it, no, the devil didn't make you do nothing. You chose to do what you chose to do. Now, did he plant the seed? He could have planted the seed. But it's on you still with the power of choice to choose to do the things that you do. I could never fix my mouth and say the devil made me sell dope. I could never fix my mouth and say the devil made me shoot those guns. I could never fix my mouth and say the devil made me do this and the devil made me do that. Because I had power over choice. God blessed me with the power over choice. I chose to do those things. I chose to pull the trigger. I chose to load the guns. I chose to sell the dope. I chose to do this and I chose to do that. I chose to be the cheater. I chose to be the gambler. I'm the one that chose to look at the porn. I'm the one that chose to do this and chose to do that. They was all my choices. The power that I had was so much power in it that I couldn't handle the power. And when you can't handle something, it has to be taken away. It has to be restricted. It has to be handled by somebody else. And my freedom was a power. Me having freedom, being free in the world, being free, but not being free from sin, but being free in the world, I had so much freedom, which was so much power that it had to be taken away because I didn't know what to do with it. You got a lot of people that don't know what to do with the things that they have that God has already blessed them with, that they don't understand. They don't know what to do with it. So when they don't know what to do with it, the enemy does. And then God has to show up because he already had a plan already in play. He already predestined something for you. So therefore, he has the last say so. And sometimes we have warnings before destruction, but we be so busy and caught up in the things that we're doing that we don't even pay attention to the warnings. So when we don't pay attention to the warnings, guess what? It goes to letting it be played out. Sometimes you get handed over to the enemy. and the enemy get to have his way with you in your life. Sometimes, if you're not paying attention to what the warnings before destruction, the enemy will get to destroy you. Sometimes you get turned over to, if it's all about you, all about you, all about you, then sometimes, guess what? You become your own God. Now you get turned over to you. And you start to destroy you. But we can't blame those things on God. We can't blame those things on the enemy, on the devil, and all. We can't know that our biggest enemy is ourselves. The worst enemy that we have is ourselves. Jesus already whooped Satan already. He already done got the keys back. Listen, the fight with Satan, that been over. We ourselves is the biggest enemy. But we love to point the finger and put it on something. We have to put the blame on something instead of us being men and women about the things, or standing up, be who we supposed to be, and taking the things that we need to take. And say, hey, you know what? And taking the blame for what we done. Saying, you know what, man? It was me. I did that. I was wrong. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have been in that place at that time. I should have been home with my family. But instead, I was in the club, so now I got shot. I should have been home with my family. But instead, I was at the strip club, so this is the reason why I got this bottle put upside my head. I was home, and I was out in the back. I should have been home with the family. But instead, this is the reason why I'm broke. I done took all that I done worked for all week long and went to the gambling house, trying to gamble it up, trying to double it up. Why? Instead of just living off what I done worked for. Instead of just letting my mind, letting everything be, instead of greed, but letting everything be like it's supposed to be. Yeah, I want to go take it and try to double it up. Now, I done lost everything plus more. Because of greed. Because of me. Because of myself. The choices that I done made. Different things. These are all different things that we ourselves, we our own enemy in. If I had control over my own eating, then I wouldn't be weighing so much. But we sit around, we want to point the finger, blame people about how we look and how we feel, but it's our choice that the reason why we look the way we look. The reason why we act the way we act. It's all from the power of choice that God gave you. But some people can't handle that power. Some people need that power stricken from them. Some people need that power taken from them. Some people need that power suspended from them until they can get it together so that they can handle that power of choice. So they have places for you. They got prisons. They got jailhouses. They got mental homes. They got suicide houses. They got addiction homes. They got abusive homes. They got graveyards. They got hospitals. They got all these different places that they have. They already know how this world is. They already know how the man is. They already know how the woman is. They already know how humans are. They already know how people are. So that's the reason why they have these places. It's because these places are designed for people that can't handle the choice of power. That power of choice. They can't handle that. So they have to be put in these different places to let somebody else decide how to use their power. It's so sickening, y'all. If you think about it, it's so sickening how we have this much power, but yet don't know what to do with it. We want to do right. We supposed to do right, but yet we still do wrong. Because of our power of choice. We want to choose to do right, but yet we choose to do wrong. Why? Because we falling off the flesh. Now, if you got a spirit, if you got the good spirit, if you got the Holy Spirit in you, the Holy Spirit will guide you and help you and bless you with, hey, listen, don't make that choice. Now, you know that's dead wrong. Don't do that. You got a wife at the house. Why you want to talk to this lady? Why you want to flirt with this woman? Why is you getting this woman your phone number? Or why is you getting this man your phone number? You got a husband at the house. If he's not making you happy, find a way to make things right with him. Try to fix the thing before you start going to do something else with somebody else and they stuff. Now you're making your own thing. Now you're doing your own thing. But God got the last say so. That's one thing for certain. And I was one of the people, y'all. I was one of the folks. I had all this power, the power of choice, not knowing that I couldn't handle my own power. So I chose to do wrong things. Thinking I was doing right, knowing I was doing wrong, but at the same time, my mind said I'm doing right. Why? Because that's what my mind said. I wasn't working through the Spirit. The Spirit wasn't working through me. The Spirit tried to save me many times. The Spirit done spoke to me many times, said, hey, you know that's wrong, don't do that. But yeah, I kept ignoring it. And the more I ignored it, the next thing you know, now somebody else got my power. My power was taken from me. So I had to go to jail. I had to go to prison. And for 7 years, somebody else had to handle my power. Somebody else had to tell me what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And I had to learn all over again what it even meant to even know what it's like to not even have power. What it's like to even have freedom. Not eating what you want to eat when you want to eat it. Not drinking what you want to drink when you want to drink. Not sleeping when you want to sleep when you want to sleep. Not being able to go to a refrigerator. Not being able to have AC. Not being able to have heat. Not being able to have what you want to have. What you want to wear. Not being able to take a shower when you want to take a shower. Not being able to use the bathroom when you want to use the bathroom. All these different things. Power. Some people can handle it, some people not. Can't. But what the enemy intended evil for, God intended good. And I thank God that he didn't give up on me. I thank God that he didn't wash his hands with me. I thank God that he didn't turn me over to myself. I thank God that he didn't turn me over to the reprobated mind. I thank God that he didn't finish being with me. I thank God that he didn't wash his hands with me. That he said he was done. But God. Because the enemy would have had fun with me. He'd have destroyed me all day long. He was ready to kill me. But God. God said, no, I had already had a plan for that boy. I already had a plan that he was going to be doing what he's doing now. I had already had a plan. Even though you stepped in, enemy. You stepped in, you had a little bit of power, you had a little bit of control, but now the control is out of your hand. Keys snatched. But God. How many of y'all have had the but God moments? When y'all thought it was all over, when you thought the enemy, when you thought when the enemy was sitting there laughing at you in your face, when the enemy say, well, you're dead, you ain't gonna make it no more. The enemy will tell you, hey, you know what? There ain't no such thing as God. What God intended good for you, the enemy says for bad. Look at those kids. See, you got these kids, you done had these kids. Look how the kids done turned out on you. Look how the kids done turned their back on you. Look how the kids done turned against you. But when they was born, they was a blessing. But when they was born, they was all yours. You was all in. I do everything for my child. I kill for my child. I steal for my child. But look what the enemy did. But God. You keep believing and keep doing what you're doing and keep praying and don't give up. God gonna straighten that right on that. Because that's the type of God that we have. That's the type of God that we deal with. When I thought that the enemy was having his way with it, I say, Lord, everything going wrong. Every time you turn around, something else happening, something else going wrong. All this stuff that's happening, all this stuff is going wrong. The enemy was having his way. He be having his way and he get his way and he having so much fun in my life. One thing going after the next thing after this, that, and that. Man, before you know it, man, but God. God put a stop to it. Why? Because you his child. You belong to him. What they intended for evil, God intended for good. Everything happens for a reason, y'all. Everything. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. What the enemy intends for bad and for evil, what we think is the worst, God make good out of it. You got sick, you sick, or you're going through different things in life, you're going through a void. Listen, man, God got something good that's going to come out of it. Whether you live to see it or whether you don't, God has something good to come out of it. Whatever the enemy desires for evil, whatever he has planned against you for bad, God has something good to come out of it. You're not getting along with your kids, or you're not getting along with your brothers, or you're not getting along with your family. God has something good to come. As long as you do your part by continuously praying, continuously staying in your word, doing what he asked you to do, man, look here, he got something good to come out of it. But if you fall along with the enemy and you keep going with the enemy, sooner or later you'll be turned over to the enemy. Because you ain't with God. You don't care nothing about God. All you care about is what they got going on, what they got going. So therefore, hey, you're going to be with them. He going to turn you right over to them. And whatever happened to you, it happens to you. Because you done had your warning. You done had your chance. You didn't have to go. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to be there. You done chose to do it. So now that you chose, guess what? You have to deal with what comes with that. If I go out there and I gamble all my money up, guess what? I have to deal with what comes with that. Lights getting cut off, vehicles being repoed, homes being took back, evicted, kicked out, going hungry, all these things. That comes with it. You reap what you sow. That's just all to it. So if you want to be fruitful and you want to continuously multiply like the beginning of the plan, that was in the beginning, that was part of God's plan to be fruitful and multiply. That's in all things. That's not just having kids. That's in all things. Be fruitful and multiply. Let your words be fruitful so that they may multiply. Let your life be fruitful so that it may multiply. Multiply meaning somebody gonna be talking about you generation after generation after generation because you was able to be multiplied by the good things that you had done. Be fruitful and multiply. Plant your seeds. So therefore somebody else can water them something and God gonna multiply it. Be fruitful and multiply. God got so much for you, man. You just got to want it. You got to decide whether you're going to be on the good side or on his side. On the bad side or the good side. It's up to you. The choice is yours. But you got to decide. God put it right there in your hand. But it's on you to eat it or to drink it or to do whatever or throw it away. It's up to you. But he put it right there in your hand. You got life, be fruitful and multiply. You got good health and strength, be fruitful and multiply. Not sitting around wasting. You got 24 hours in a day. Not sleeping half of the day and then trying to do something throughout the rest. No. Be fruitful and multiply. Each day that you blessed to see, make it count. Because you got a God that's ready to turn what is intended for good, for bad, into good. You got a God that's waiting on you. He's waiting on you. And all you got to do is make the decision to do what it is that you need to do. To be the person that he needs you to be. To be in the place that he needs you to be. For his will, his purpose, and his plans. It's all about God, y'all. It ain't about us. It's all about God. Everything. It ain't even about us. It's about the true king. When death thought he had you, but God showed right on up Say, no, you're not finna have my child. When COVID was out and he thought he had you, but God showed up and showed out. And look at you now, you still him. When cancer thought he had you, but God said, what you intend, counsel, for evil and for bad, I intended for good. When you thought that relationship was over, when you thought your marriage was over, but God stepped right on in and said, hey, what I put together, let no man tear apart. But God. I know y'all got some but God moments. I got so many of them, y'all. I just want to name a few. There's so many. The devil say, I got him. He'd have been saved, but yet he's still acting a fool. But God said, no, you don't. You just don't know that same fool finna be a fool for me. He just learning how to do it while he on your side. But I got him. But God. But God. I know y'all got some but God moments. I like to hear it. Y'all share if you want to share. But y'all make sure y'all drop me a comment or two. I want to hear about these but God moments, man. I know y'all got some but God moments. What the devil intended for wrong, well, for bad. Look how it turned out. It turned out good, though. But God, but God, but God. It's all about Him. It's all about His plan. It's all about what God has a purpose for. The enemy can't do no more than what God allowed him to do. Always remember that, y'all. The enemy can't do no more than what the good Lord allowed him to do. But God. I thank God for this opportunity. I wasn't gonna keep y'all long. I just want to share the but God situation, man. It's so much. It's so many times when the enemy thought he could take me out. Car accidents, car wrecks. But God said, no, not this way, not this day, and not this time. The enemy has opportunity all the time, but so do you. As long as you with God, you don't have to worry about nothing else. But you got to do your part. To whom much is given, much is required. I'm gonna let that sit in and let y'all think about that. Until the next time, I'm Minister Brown with nothing but the true ministry. Y'all have a blessed one, and we'll see you on the next one. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.